This was an Indian team unlike any Indian one over the last 10 years. Rahul Dravid, Sachin Tendulkar, Anil Kumble and Saurav Ganguly had all opted out, leaving Mahendra Singh Dhoni to lead a side full of unproven promise. It was a clear sign that India didn't care much about the format and the team carried no burden of expectations. There would be no surprise and no national mourning if this team didn't go too far. India's campaign got off to a wet start and they were forced to share points with Scotland. This meant they had to avoid a heavy defeat against Pakistan in their next game if they were to make it to the Super 8s. And what a match it turned out to be. Pakistan's decision to field first proved to be a masterstroke as Mohammad Asif's swing and seam left India struggling at 38 for 4. A half-century from Robin Uthappa helped India to a modest 141, but even this seemed adequate when they had Pakistan 5 down for 87 and then 6 down for 106. But Misbah-ul-Haq and Yasir Arafat punched away a series of boundaries in the last 3 overs to draw level with 2 balls to spare. But Misbah, who made a stunning 53 in 35 balls, just couldn't manage to get Srishant away for a single and was run out of the last ball. It was here that Dhoni showed the first signs of his street smartness by getting non-regular bowlers to hit the stumps in the bowl-out, and India snatched a thrilling victory. However, the joy was short-lived as India went down in their next game to New Zealand. Brendan McCullum gave his team the perfect start with a breezy 45, and Jacob Oram and Craig McMillan put on 73 off 32 to take their side to a highly competitive 190. Gautam Gambhir and Virendra Sehwag then blazed away, adding 76 in 34 balls, but some smart bowling from Daniel Vettori left India 11 runs short. India now needed to win against England to keep their semi-final hopes alive. Gambhir and Sehwag got them off to a flyer, adding 136 in the first 15 overs, after which Yuvraj Singh played the innings of the tournament. Having verbally sparred with Andrew Flintoff in the 18th over, Yuvraj took out his anger on the ball and Stuart Broad, slamming 6 sixes in the over. In the process, he set the record for the fastest 50 in 2020 as India reached 218. And then Irfan Pathan's 3-wicket haul sealed it for India. This game was the turning point in India's fortunes. The no-hopers had suddenly become the show stealers. But host South Africa still stood in the way. India batted first and things looked bad as they collapsed to 33 for 3. However, an unbeaten 50 from Rohit Sharma, playing only his second 2020 and his 85-run stand with Dhoni, took India to a respectable 153. A sensational spell of 4 for 13 from RP Singh then dumped South Africa out of their own party. India had finally come into their own in the World Cup. Their semi-final opponents, the formidable Australians. India had the crowd behind them in Durban as Dhoni won the toss and chose to bat. Yuvraj hit a 30-ball 70 and added 84 with Uthappa to take India to 188. Matthew Hayden then gave Australia a confident start, and when Andrew Symonds joined him, they looked favourites to make the final. Australia needed 41 off the last 4 overs and Symonds was still at the crease with Michael Hussey. But having given 8 of the first 3 balls, Irfan pegged back Symonds off stump and the momentum swung India's way. And then Dhoni's masterstroke. An inexperienced Joginder Sharma was handed the ball for the final over with 22 needed. Hussey, the master finisher, was on strike, but for once he came undone. Australia had been beaten, India had held their nerve in a crucial game, and that set up the perfect final, India versus Pakistan. Gambhir stood alone in the face of some tigerish bowling and fielding, and Rohit provided a late burst as India scrapped to 157. But once again India were inspired with the ball, and Pakistan appeared to be well out of contention with 54 needed from 24 balls and just 3 wickets in hand. But once again it was that man Misbah. He thumped Harbhajan Singh for 3 sixes, and Sohail Tanveer chipped in with a 4-ball 12, and the improbable looked possible. With Misbah on strike, Pakistan needed 13 from the final over. After a great deal of thought, Dhoni gambled on Joginder yet again. He started with a wide and the situation became even more desperate when Misbah hit a full toss for 6. But with victory in sight, his judgment failed him. Moving across the stumps, he went for the scoop down to fine leg. He didn't connect cleanly and millions on the subcontinent held their breath as Srishant came under the ball at short fine leg. When he held it, the stadium erupted. India's win had Dhoni leading the side in his first major assignment, and his quirky ways stamped all across it. Under Dhoni, India just didn't sit back and aim to stifle. They attacked. And not once did they lose their nerve. A new generation of Indian cricketers had arrived. But more than anything else, it sparked off a chain of events that went on to transform world cricket. It awoke the Indian administrators to the possibilities of 2020, and the IPL was born. Like Kapil's Devils in 1983, Dhoni's boys didn't merely win a World Cup, they changed the course of cricket. With Nishi Narayanan and Ranjit Shinde, this is Akhila Rangana for Cricinfo.
This is Cricinfo Talk.